Hey everyone. So today I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of my impressions of these Opinel knives that I've picked up recently and that I've been carrying around for a couple weeks. This up here is an Opinel number 6 and an Opinel number 7. This one here has the carbon steel blade, and the number 6 has the stainless steel blade. Picked these up and been carrying them around just to kind of get a feel for it. I've been aware of Opinel knives for quite a while, and I finally just wanted to snag a couple of them and give them a try. And also kind of been in the market for like a more lightweight backpacking knife. And these certainly fit the bill in that regard as far as lightweight. That's one of the things I do like about them quite a bit. So the number 6 here, most people would consider fairly small for a pocket knife, but for me it actually works quite well. It fits in my hand quite nicely. I do have small hands, but it's plenty of knife for a backpacker or camper or something like that. And the stainless steel, I think, is actually really good for any type of wet environment you might run into. I'm actually going to ship this Opinel number 6 out to my brother, who's currently through hiking the PCT, the Pacific Crest Trail. I'll put that one away for now because I've actually mostly been carrying this number 7 with the Carbone. One of the other reasons I got this is because I wanted to get a little more experience with a carbon steel pocket knife. I have a carbon steel camp knife that I've done a video on, my Escobar knife, but it's a different style. It's a painted one, whereas this is a plain carbon steel blade. And you can see that I've done a forced patina on it here. I did this with some mustard. There's lots of websites and stuff. I won't go into how to do it. It's pretty easy. But the carbon steel will pick up that darkening patina on it, which actually helps prevent rust, which is really nice. And it really makes the blade look kind of cool. You can do some personalization to it. But onto just a kind of overview of the Opinels themselves. I'm going to start out with a couple things that I actually am not very pleased with at all, and that is actually the quality control on the knives. When both of these knives came, this top third of the blade, it wasn't even like it had a dull factory edge on it. It didn't even have an edge. I could look down the blade like this and actually see that it was still flat, where just the grinding process in the factory had missed it. So unfortunately enough, I had the tools necessary to fix that up, and now it's got just a screaming sharp edge on it. But I mean, it wasn't just like this one knife was a fluke. This number 6 had the exact same problem. Again, just like the blade from about the nail nick up didn't even have an edge whatsoever on it. So I mean, Opinel's been around for a long time making knives, and they're pretty well regarded, but anything like that, whether it's coming from Mick Strider or it's coming from a little chintzy knife, I mean, if it doesn't even have an edge on it, it's not really acceptable. But fortunately, I was able to fix that, so no real other problems. I do love the wooden handles. They're very pretty. Quite a bit of variation, too. These were the same beechwood handle, but quite a bit more orange on the carbon one there. I am a big fan of the locking mechanism. It's just you slide this ring over here, and it's very secure. If that were to fail, it would probably chip out a whole chunk of your blade before anything would fail. I mean, it's rock solid. And you can also use it. I personally don't use it, but it has this little groove here where you can lock the blade closed. But there's enough friction in it that I don't worry about that at all. I never use it. One of the things I'm not so keen on this locking mechanism, though, is that there's no way to get in there and clean it. So it does get, I don't know if this will pick up the noise, but mine has a bit of, it's not really showing up on the camera, but there's a little bit of grit in there from just carrying it in my pocket, and there's no real way to get in there and get it out. So that's kind of an unfortunate thing too. But so overall, I mean, these knives are very inexpensive. I wouldn't call them cheap. I think that, other than the quality control issue I mentioned, they're quite nice, quite quality. definitely not a cheaply made knife, but they are inexpensive. Each of these knives was like $13 or something like that. So they're great. I mean, for the purposes that I picked them up for, I mean, my brother's, like I said, doing some ultra light through hiking right now. It's a great little knife for that. This little guy weighs 1 ounce, and this one's just a hair over an ounce. You know, I'm glad I picked them up. I don't regret it. I think Opinel needs to do some work on their quality control front, because I think it's just very unlikely that I got 2 that were, you know, bad apples. I mean, it's possible, but statistically unlikely. Otherwise, I think they're great. I mean, for the price you pay, they're a great little knife, very stout. I don't see, you know, anything that's going to prevent it from lasting years and years and years. I'm also I like the historical aspect of it, how long they've been around, just the simple design. If you guys have watched my other videos, you know I kind of have a thing for the old historical stuff, like my Svea 123 stove, the Trangia that I carry. I just like that stuff. And these, they don't disappoint. They're an elegant knife. The thin blade is great as like a utility cutting purposes. I mean, obviously it's not like a bushcrafting woodsman's type of knife. The blade's far too brittle, but for like cutting string and stuff around camp, and also for food prep, I mean, it's great. They pack a lot of blade in a very lightweight package. So overall, pleased with Opinel, despite, you know, the couple dings against it, and very happy with the carbon steel blade there. It's been fun to play around with that. So if anybody has any questions about this, again, Opinel number 6 with the stainless steel Inox, Opinel number 7 with the carbon steel blade, both with beechwood handles. Let me know if anybody has any questions on them, and thank you very much for watching.